Hello and welcome to In Stitches with Jackie. If you're new, welcome. Happy Labor Day. I started my hoop studio, Carol's Kitchen, from Me Time Delivered yesterday, Sunday, and this took me most of the day yesterday. Now, I did take breaks and kind of started and stopped, but I ran into a lot of bloopers, and it wasn't due to an issue with the instructions. It was just due to me not paying attention or me not reading things. And I decided to keep everything in because I wanted to show that even though you make a lot of mistakes, you can still come out with a really nice product. So I was able to complete the oven mitt, and it is nice. It's actually very nice. It's I think it's the perfect size for this type. Originally I was saying it was kind of small. I changed up my colors, and I do give a review of this, and I feel like I've said it multiple times, but I wasn't a fan of that. And what I came to realize, look at the back, what I came to realize is that this, depending on the fabrics that you have, this is totally reversible. I actually like the inside colors more. Look at that. How beautiful is that? I did my whip stitching, so that would be the big thing. You know, you could see the whip stitching, but it's a hot, it's a oven mitt. So doesn't matter that you could see that little bit of stitching on there. It's pretty thick. I stated that throughout the project. So I am going to have to split this in the two videos. There's just no way. Now today, Labor Day, I have worked on the hot pad, and I pretty much have that done except for the binding. Now the last part, because you're doing the binding in the hoop, I really want to make sure to do that correctly. And it's kind of involved, and so I wanted to be able to put more time into that and not have it get lost. So this particular hoop studio project is being split up into two videos. I'm going to post this one today, hopefully. There's been an issue with loading videos on YouTube today, but I'm hoping to get this one out. Please watch this one, see all the, I mean, it's actually kind of fun. It's actually kind of fun. I did make a lot of mistakes again by not reading the instructions and just assuming what the next step would be, and I was able to save every single mistake that I made. So I was in the end, pretty impressed with that. And I also realized that this is a reversible project. As long as you do your whip stitch, this kind of blends in. So you want to take into account the fabric. So if you're, have a fabric that's kind of busy like this, it works. If you had a solid fabric, you probably would notice that whip stitching a lot more than you do with this. So I am going to make my second one using the same fabrics. Only my second one, I am not going to stitch that. I don't even really care that it's going to be two separate ones because it's going to be mine. I'm not gifting this. Would I make this again to gift this? Definitely. I've already stated that I think the hot pad would be beautiful in holiday Christmas colors, and so I definitely will be stitching that hot pad again. In that video you'll see some of the things I have stated about that one, but this will be a separate video, so I hope you enjoy it. Please like and give those thumbs up, and let me know what you think. If you've made the project, let me know if you ran into any issues, and if you still need to stitch out the project. I hope that all of my bloopers help you, and my suggestions also help. Thank you again, and please enjoy the video. Check it out. This is August 2025 from Me Time Delivered, and it's Carol's Kitchen. This is this is what you get with the Hoop Studio subscription. They give you enough material to make both oven mitts and one hot pad. So I started looking at the instructions for the hot pad, and they're somewhat involved, and they're involved because it has you making the binding prior to starting your embroidery, and it's basically making the binding and then you're connecting it, so you're making a circle with it, right? And then it will be it's going to be put on. See, that's what the end part is. So it's just making a regular binding and then connecting it So you're basically connecting it like you would when you were putting it around a quilt. And then from that point, then you're starting your design. And it looks like, took out all the materials, and as usual, you have your Hoop Studio card. It tells you everything that's included. Not a fan of the fabrics, and normally I stitch the fabrics because it's my tester, and I don't think I am going to do that with this one. I don't mind so much the hot pad, but I'm not crazy about this. Now, I like the fabric. I just feel like these are very springy fabrics. I guess this can be considered fall, I guess. But to me, it looks very springy. So this would be to make the mitts. They give the batting, and they also give all of the material needed. Insulated batting. It's got one 8.5 by 8.5 if you're making an 8 by 12, or one 6 by 6 if you're making the 5 by 7. Now it says these instructions feature, it looks like enough material to make one hot pad. Oh, additional materials, insulated batting. So at some point you're using insulated batting. Oh, I guess you are, to protect your hands. Okay. All right, that makes sense. Halloween, to be honest with you, I was going to kind of turn this into Halloween themed, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to stay away from doing that. This is going to be the backing, although it is a Halloween. This is going to be the backing. And then I decided to put these flowers on the inside. And this is my reasoning. Something like this is probably going to get dirty fast. This grunge is kind of dirty looking. This is dark with light. This is going to be what your hand's going to go on. And this is going to be the back. So I kind of feel like it will all be protected. And I like that color combo. Originally, I was going to put an orange in here. Also for the flowers, not a fan of these flowers. However, I think I'm going to keep them really muted. I'm going to do them black and gray, and maybe some green. So I'm going to keep the flowers very muted. I decided to do the mitts, the oven mitts first, because the hot pad is a little more involved. I thought after I stitch this out today, then I'll do the binding, get everything ready, and this won't be so bad once you get the binding all set to go. So the mitts, the oven mitts, don't look like they're going to be that complicated, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see about that. So it is 2 pieces of fabric. I think it's a 7 by 8.5 and a 7 by 9. And then I think these, what are the sizes of these? For the oven mitts, I'm going to do the 6 by 10. I'm going to use my, or I'm sorry, I'm using my 6 by 10 hoop. And so I needed a 7 by 8.5, and that's my white. The pocket lining and mitt lining, these are the flower ones. So there's one 7 by 8.5, one 7 by 9. And then this is my backing. So when you read the instructions, it's only giving you instructions to make one hot pad. I'm sorry, I keep saying hot pad, one oven mitt. It only gives you instructions for one oven mitt, but it says that there is enough material to make 2 of them. So, all right, and then I've got both pieces of my batting already cut, and I have my my insulated batting here. And I think I'm all set. I have a 6 by 10 hoop, and I am going to hoop it with a light mesh cutaway stabilizer. All right, and let's see. Oven mitt front, so I want to pick the front first, because the front is the first thing that's done, and then when you're stitching the second one, I'm going to need to put the front on it. So that would have definitely been a bad thing if I would have done that. All right, so I'm just going to restitch the line, and it looks like it's the same thing. It looks like it's the same exact thing, except for it's going to do the lines in the middle. This is Kimberbell mesh cutaway, and I feel like it's got like a real shiny look to it. That looks a little odd. It's gonna do 2 lines down the middle, and then after this, it's gonna be the batting. And yep, gonna be the batting. This is gonna be a pretty small mitt. Oh, it's doing something a little different there. Okay, so it did the placement line. Now it's going to be the project batting, and then the batting is going to get stitched down. So let's put this batting here. See how shiny? I don't know if you could tell how shiny that. I'm like, this is the Kimberbell. I hope this is the You know, I'm kind of thinking this is not the Kimberbell. This is a fusible. Bet you any money this is a fusible. And that's okay. That's okay. It's not going, I don't know. It might be an issue. It might be an issue. Let me start this, because if it's a fusible and there's heat on it, it might crinkle it up or something. Let me change this. I'm gonna start over with this. I'm gonna go back to the first step, and I'm gonna hoop this with something different. I just wanted to show I was using the wrong thing. So this is the Kimberbell, which I rarely use. I think I only got it because it was on sale. And this was what I was using. Now, this is a mesh cutaway, but it's a fusible mesh cutaway. And it looks identical. And the only reason I knew something was a little odd is this is like, you could see on this side, this is fusible. So I think I bought this for when I embroidered a little onesie for my granddaughter for her first birthday, and I've never really used it again. And I knew that this was my Kimberbell because I put this inside here when I'm too lazy to put a slap band, and this way I know. So I'm glad I caught that, because this is something that's going to be you know, holding hot stuff. So I don't think that fusible thing would have been good. So really pay attention to, I'm going to start this over. Really pay attention to the type of stabilizers, because sometimes they look so much the same. See how it turns out with me using my own. So now I'm going to put my batting down and going to tack that down. Okay, so now it says trim the batting close to the stitch lines. Stitch it close to the stitch lines. Okay, close to the stitch lines. It doesn't show, I am assuming that I'm taking it out of the middle as well. That's what it looks like. And, okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to cut away all the batting, and then the next thing will be the placement line for the fabric. Okay, now it's going to do a placement line, which is square. It's a little odd. But I didn't show. I have SF101 on everything. All right, so now it says to place the pocket fabric. Place the pocket fabric. Pocket fabric, and then stitch the pocket quilting detail. Why can't they just say front? Why are they not saying front? Project batting, place the pocket, and then stitch the pocket detail. Just a little confused why they wouldn't say the front, but I love this grunge. I have used it for multiple projects. It is one of my favorites. I have bought yards of this stuff. I love it. That's so odd. All right, now it's going to do the quilting design. And I think I'm going to leave, this is like the a silver thread in here. So I am going to, it looks like a pretty detailed quilting design. So I am going to leave this thread in here, which is like, I think it's called silver lining. Okay, the background quilting finished up. Very nice. You can see it, but it doesn't overtake the project. Now it's gonna start this this flower part, this right here. And I'm gonna go with some different coloring for that as well. So I believe I am going to do, I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna put a charcoal gray in here right now. I meant to pause it and I turned it off. I'm gonna put a charcoal gray in. This is Isacord color 0134. Okay, I'm gonna stitch these. It looks like it's just gonna be a bunch of little circles. Getting ready to stitch this last flower here, and I used different colors, and I knew from the beginning that I did not like I did not like this design. I don't know why they put this here, but it's just a bunch of starts and stops. But then when you get to the flower, so there's 6 of these little flowers that I'm doing in gray, and it's a real tight stabbing. Oh, it goes over and over like the things each time, and it's just, I slowed my machine down and it's still, I'm going to do this in real time here. I'm going to show you. It is loud, it's annoying. I just don't get it. Like, there is an option in the machine, or if you have an brilliance to take this out, I would definitely take this out. I would not stitch this again. Even making the second mitt, oven mitt, I'm going to figure out something else to put on there, because you hear this? It's just this banging, and I slowed my machine down to 800, and it's just, my thread is broke once already. Is it broke again? No. Yeah, so I had to listen to that 6 times. And it's, I don't know, I just don't understand why they did that design like that. I use different colors. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it does anything. I don't think it adds anything to this at all. So now the next thing is, it says to take the, so now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to place the pocket lining fabric right side up. So this is my pocket lining fabric. And let me see, the pocket lining fabric is the one that is 7 by 8.5. And it says to just take this and place it over. Place it over just like that. Just like that. All right. Oh, that's kind of a bright fabric. And now it says, I keep losing my spot. So I placed that. That's step number 18. Number 19, it says stitch the pocket seam lines and trimming lines. So this is something I'm going to want to see. So I'm going to change the thread I'm going to change the thread to white so I can see what it is I'm supposed to cut. Okay, I put my white thread in, and it doesn't say anything about taping it down. And it's just showing that it's going to stitch 3 lines there. So let's do that. Oh, Jesus. So I wasn't on that part yet. There are more flowers. I'm going to take this off of here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this off of here because this is going to be the pocket. I am not going to stitch any more flowers. Thank God I realized that. I'll be able to get that out. And I am going to advance to the lining part. I thought that was done. See these? I show you the mistakes that I make, but I'm going to take and cut that out of there. That wasn't too bad. So I am going to advance to the next step, which is going to be the lines. No way am I stitching more of those flowers. It's just way too annoying. So moving on to this. Now it should just go straight across. Okay, definitely I did not choose the correct fabric to be able to show this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that middle line and I'm going to take my rotary cutter and I am going to cut along that line. So that's what the instructions say to do. It says cut on the indicated trimming line shown in red through all fabric and stabilizer. So that is the middle one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my rotary cutter. I'm going to get onto this middle line here. And I am going to cut all the way through. That was not that difficult. Let me see this end. I didn't go far enough. Okay. So now what it says to do it says you're gonna take and you're gonna, the vertical line, and you're gonna cut. So it says, carefully snip a vertical line through all layers as shown in yellow. So right there. So I'm gonna be cutting each end there. Okay, I need sharper scissors to do that. Snips aren't gonna do it. So I'm gonna make sure that I went to the end, and it actually shows also in red, it says extend the opening. So you're actually gonna extend the opening anyway. So I'm just gonna take my rotary cutter and go a little farther past. Take the rotary cutter, go a little farther past. It did say right side up. Wrong side of fabric up. Oh my Jesus. I did this wrong. Okay, as I realized, and I should have known this, I put this fabric, it was supposed to be wrong side of fabric, right side down. And so I already did my cut, but I am gonna see if I can salvage this. So what I'm doing is I'm taking out, because it stitched these two side lines first, I'm just gonna have to make sure to really match this up, and then before it does the middle stitch, I'm gonna have to stop it. So I'm gonna continue to take this off, I'm gonna turn it around, put it the right way, stitch it again, and then we should be back on track. There you go, success. I got that out, and this is gonna be the second save. One project, I'm gonna have 2 saves. So I'm gonna match this up. I'm gonna match it up, and it shouldn't be that hard to match up. Make sure that this is all looking as close as it can. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape this in place. I'm gonna stitch, as I said, I'm gonna stitch those lines down each side. Make sure I stop it before it stitches the middle line. And then what I need to do is cut this way, and then this will be done. I should have known this. This is like typical bag stuff, right? So let me tape this. I could even put a little thin piece of tape down the middle, but I'm not gonna do that. I'll just tape it on the sides, and I'm gonna repeat that step. Okay, I didn't put a piece of tearaway because I don't feel like pulling off tearaway. So let's see. I don't think that this is where that started. Let's go to step 1. Yeah, it started at this end. All right, stopping it there. Okay, stopping it there, and let me just advance to the next step, and let me take this back to the table. Okay, and now I'm gonna do what it had said to do before. It says to cut down each side vertically here. And so I'm gonna do it on that side. And I've already cut past the line as well from the previous cut. So down to there, and put that there. Okay, that should be good. So now it wants me to tuck the fabric in. That's how I knew right away. I was like, oh, that is not correct. So let's try to, I've dealt with these types of things before too, and usually you find out, I'll have to see once I take the other side if this is, if I have this enough. If not, I'll just cut some more. So I'm going to take this as well, and you want that to pull on the side there. Oh, I'm not sure. That looks like a, well, it said to go past that, so let's turn this around and try to get this. This one looks okay. This one being a little stubborn. So what does it say to do? It says extend the opening, tuck the lining pieces into the opening, cut opening, cut in the stabilizer. So it just says, I'm gonna continue to smooth this out a bit more and I will be right back. Okay, you can see that all laid pretty nice. I have some little strings, of course, because of all my little cutting, but looks pretty good. So, all right, so it says to iron on the back of the hoop. Prepare the iron on the back of the hoop. To iron on the back of the hoop, prepare an ironing surface smaller than your hoop. Place the hoop, okay, because it wants me to get this nice and smooth. This is the back, so it wants me to get that all smoothed up. And I love this because I don't know that I have anything that this is going to fit on to be able to iron that. I don't have an ironing surface that small. To iron on the back of it, prepare an ironing surface smaller than your hoop, such as a small wool felt mat or a folded hand towel. This will support the embroidery and keep the stabilizer from loosening. Place the hoop right side down with the embroidery. Okay, yeah. So it's wanting me to press all of this. And I'm not sure that I need to do that, for one. It says to tape all of this. See how this side is really nice? This side is, you can't really tell, but it's wonky. So I'm going to continue to, I don't know if it's because that one, if that side is just, these are not easy things to do in the hoop without loosening this. If anything, I would, right here, I'm having a hard time with this one. And I could already, I mean, I don't want to take a chance of, I've already had 2 mistakes. I've already had 2 mistakes. So what I am going to do is I am going to take an iron to the top. And I know that there's stitches here. I'm going to put a little cloth over it. But I don't feel like I have any type of a surface that I can iron from the back and not risk popping this out of the hoop. I'm just not willing to take that chance. So I'm going to get this all straightened up the best I can, and I'm going to tape it just like they're showing. Carefully pull one side of the fabric. That's basically what it wants me to do. It wants me to get this all smooth. And you can see it's pretty much, I'm not going to, I mean, you see how nice that's laying? I am not going to worry. These sides right here are a little wonky. I'm going to take in how it shows, put the piece of tape there. But you can see, I'm just going to finger press this. And even doing that, I feel like I'm compromising this stabilizer. I've done stuff like this enough to know that this can go bad fast. So I am going to tape that there and there. And does it say to tape the opening? No. It says to tape the sides, and this side is a little wonky. It just is. I've tried to mess with it a couple times. And then I will tape this side as it shows. Ugh. I feel like my stabilizer, I feel like this is not as stable as it should be. I don't know how they would think you could iron that. Now, when you have those little, even having one of the little small ones, like the little 4x4 one, I would think would still not be enough to support that. So I'm going to do this. This is what I'm calling ironed right there. And so now it says tape the edges over the opening on the front. Tape the edges on the opening on the front. I don't understand why this is all square when it's going to be round. So now it says to tape the openings. I guess I'm going to have to try to figure out, it wants me to tape this, probably because it's going to go across there. I don't know. At some point, it's going to do a circle. So, because obviously this is not square. Let's see. So it says to tape those two, and then it says it's going to stitch a pocket tack down. Is that what it's showing next? No, it's not showing that. So what it's going to do is it's going to stitch that line there. And I'm just going to finger press this the best I can. Again, I could take this to the iron, but I'm gonna say that I'm gonna call that a day, and I'm just going to say that this is gonna be good, and hopefully this is gonna match up. So I'm gonna take it back to the machine. I'm gonna keep that white in there. I just am. I'm gonna keep the white in there and just go from there. Let me see. So it's gonna do a line across the top and across the bottom one. So let's see. Now, I don't know if you know what, well, with the baby lock, I could take and I can hold this down. And by holding that down, it's going to take this across really slow. Whew, that was close. Okay, that worked out good. So now it looks like, oh, let me see what I'm supposed to do now. Skip another thing. Okay, so I did that. It stitched those lines. And it says to remove it from the hoop. Remove the project from the hoop. Trim the excess stabilizer. Okay. So that was the last step. So, oh, the last step is going to be doing this, but I don't have to put any, I wanted to make sure I'm not supposed to be putting any other fabric or anything, and I'm not. So now what it's going to do is it's going to stitch across there, and that's why it wanted that tape, because it's going to stitch across this. So it is going to stitch across. Was hopefully it was. And you know, I can press this a bit, you know, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think it looks that bad. You could see some of that, and it did catch all of the back fabric, so I do have a little wonky part there. I don't know, that was from that stitches will come out. I think that's good. That's the back. That's the back. It's like making a purse, huh? All right, so this part is done. So this is part one. Let's look at it. It says remove from the project from the hoop, remove the tape, trim the excess stabilizer only. Set the 2 pockets aside. Well, I only made one. That's about all I have enough energy to do here, right? So I'm going to take this tape off of here. All right. And then there's a piece of tape here. So I'll get all of this tape off of here. And remember, it's gonna stitch in a circle after the back part is done. So hopefully it, you know, it probably stitches in a circle to where that won't be so, hopefully it goes above that, because I don't know if that's real neat looking. All right, I'm gonna take this out of the hoop and I'm gonna move on to the back piece. All right, this is what piece number 1 looks like. After all of my issues, I'm surprised that I have something to show for it. Now I am going to go in here and I'm going to load part 2. Let's get part 2 loaded in here. So that's 6 by 10, 6 by 10. That's the back. Gotta go, and we're gonna do that. Put this off to the side. I have my 6 by 10 hoop. I have it nicely. Oh, let me straighten this up some. Let's see. Let's return embroider. I don't know why it's doing this. Let's go to stitch 1, and it is going to do the placement line. Oh, let me see. I took a little break after 3 mistakes. Was it 3 mistakes? 3 mistakes, 2 mistakes on the first part. I took a little break. I had a little bit of dinner and kind of chilled a bit, and so now it's a 10 to 10, and I am starting the second part. I think I already made a mistake. Project batting. Place the Mitt base project batting tape in place. Then place the insulated batting shiny side up tape in place. Stitch the tack down. Oh, I'm telling you, I am batting 1,000 on these things. For some reason, I just don't want to read instructions. I don't know. So it says put the place the insulated batting shiny side up tape in place, and then you're going to do a stitch line, and then it looks like stitch the Mitt base tack down, and then remove the tape, trim both the batting and the and this close to the stitch line. So I am going to go around again because apparently I don't follow instructions, and it now has to go around this. Shiny side up, shiny side up. I'll probably just let it go around. Ooh, seems like this stuff likes to bunch. Guess you gotta keep an eye on this stuff. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, oh, it's like bunching up here. Let me hold that in place here. Oh, get my hand out of the way. Yikes. Oh, that's because I didn't take it that step back. Darn it, I hope that did the same. It did do the same line, but let me go back, and I'm gonna go around one more time. I am just making mistakes here. I'm just gonna go around one more time because it seemed like it was a little bunchy in some areas. When it gets back over here, I'm just going to stop it and I'm going to go to the next, there we go. Okay, and then the next one looks like, let me see. So it says to trim both this and the batting away, place the back fabric, and then it's gonna do some tack lines. And I can see that it's gonna do that. So let me take this, I'm gonna trim this all up. I've never cut this stuff before, but it seems pretty thin. And I will be right back. Definitely the snips would not work to cut that. All right, so let's see. Now it says to trim away, stitch it, remove the tape, trim both the batting close to the stitch line. The batting, remove the tape, trim both battings close to the stitch line, stitch the back placement line. I wonder... I think this is the back placement line. Let's see. Nope, it's on the same thing. I wonder if I stitched that wrong. It was probably supposed to be stitched inside here. Let me see. Oh, I have just done nothing but... No. I have done nothing but make mistakes on this stuff. But you know what? What are you gonna do? This was pretty much even with the... Oh, no, it was not. Okay, so I knew that there was something wrong. See what I did there? I made another mistake. This is like really easy to get lost in this stuff. So I'm going to have to take out that one and I'm going to have to trim the both of these to this line because this is the placement line. So I will be back. So what I am going to do, because there was no way I was going to be able to take this out, is I am going to re-hoop this. I'm going to start over and then I'm going to put this down and then I'll have to just stitch this onto the new stabilizer. This is going to be a fix also. So I'm taking this all the way out of the stabilizer. There's no way I could, I can get those stitches out. So I'm going to cut this all the way away from the stabilizer, and then I'm just going to hoop a new piece of a new piece of the light mesh cutaway and start all over again and set this and the batting together because I can't leave this because this is in the actual stitch line and it will throw off the whole project. Oh my God, this is comical. This really, really is. So, okay, so I got that out and it's got the batting with it and it's going to have that extra layer of that, which I can take out. Let me get this hooped and I am going to start, I'm going to start from the very start. Which is right there. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm starting all over again with my placement. Okay, I also took the stabilizer off of the back of this one. So you could see this is bigger. This is bigger than that placement line. So I'm just going to look all the way around. It's going to re-tack this down and then I'm just going to trim away what I don't need. So far I believe this is an easy fix. All depends on how crinkled up this decides to go, and I might now I'm going to trim away all of this extra stuff, and then I'm going to do the placement line for the fabric, which is going to be where it needs to be. And I did correct that. Be right back. There you go. Look how perfect that looks. Look how perfect that looks. Now it's going to do the placement line. I am so glad that I realized that. This is really a bloopers, but I'm so glad that I'm almost glad that this is happening, because it can show you that if something like that happens, it's not a total waste, right? Just think a little outside the box, figure out how to fix it. All of this stuff is not cheap. We don't want to just end the project and start all over again if we don't have to. And I am pretty proud of that save. All right. So now it says right side of fabric. Place the back fabric right side up, tape in place. Stitch the back tack down line and remove and okay, you'll be able to stitch the back tack down lines and the placement tick marks. Remove the tape. Do not trim the fabric. So this one, that's how I knew something was wrong, because there were like, I could tell there were going to be like these tick marks, and I was like, why is it doing tick marks on a placement line? So I knew that that was wrong. All right. This seems like this is kind of high. All right, and this is going to do the tack down. I didn't see any tick marks. Maybe it's going to do them now. I guess so. This is really puffy. It's really puffy. Oh, there's the tick line. Looks like a circle in here, but it's really oval. So now it's gonna do the quilting. You know, it's gonna do the quilting. I'm gonna raise my foot a bit because this is awfully puffy. So let me see. Okay, I'm gonna go here and I am going to raise my embroidery foot. I think that should be good. Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty puffy. I'm gonna raise it a little more because it is, let's see, that should be good where I raised it now. Maybe I raised it too much now. Let's see. Yeah, I raised it a little too much, so let me take it down. I took it down one more. This should be good where it's at, and then I gotta remind myself to go back and make sure that I change that. But this is really fluffy. Okay, the quilting finished. That is really pretty, isn't it? But it is kind of puffy. It's kind of puffy. Okay, now what does it say to do? So after the quilting detail, that was Step 11. Step 12, we're going to place the pocket made in part 1 right side down, aligning the fold with the upper tick marks and centering horizontally, tape in place. And then it says stitch the partial pocket tack down line, and then we're going to take the other part of the lining. So let's take this over to the table. Okay, so right side down. So right side down, and it's going to be the top tick marks. So the top tick mark is there and there, and it's right side down, and then it looks like you take it and you fold it down like that. This part right here, I was never able to really get that to smooth out. I wonder if I should try to iron that. I think I'm going to. Okay, I did press it a bit, but the one side is a little wonky, and it's just the way it's gonna be. It's supposed to be right side down. Oh God, that fabric is all cut there. God, I hope this doesn't end up giving me a lot of trouble. It's supposed to be right side down, right? Let me make sure. Right side down. I almost made mistake number lost count, right? I've made so many mistakes on this project, but you know, the thing is, well, that ain't lining up. That's not lining up at all. So it's got to be, I mean, if I do it that way, if I do these tick lines the way they said to do them, it's not even going to line up. It's not even, do I have this the right way? I do. Let's see if I do it the other way. Was there one side a little shorter? I don't think so. So there's the tick line right there. Maybe I have to pull that a little bit more. And I mean, it's barely going to. So I have to slide it down some, because I am not, if I line it up with those tick lines, I am not going to, it's not going to cover the bottom. It is not going to cover the bottom. Well, that's not good. That is not good at all. I don't have any more room there. I mean, that's as low as I can go there. So those tick lines aren't exactly being really accurate there for me, but, and I am right where I need to be up here. So, not sure. Put that there. So it says to put a piece of tape on the, it says put tape, oh, it literally says put tape everywhere, doesn't it? If this doesn't line up after all the work, I don't know what to do. See that there's no way that I can do it any other way, because this is, it's at the top and the bottom for each one. I'm not happy with the way this fabric looks here. It's kind of ripped. Well, I thought things were going good, and now I'm starting to have doubts. I am starting to have doubts whether or not I can even consider posting this video, because if it doesn't come out after all my mistakes, there's not going to be much to show. Jeez. I'm going to stitch here. I could say it's in the general area, but probably not where it exactly needs to be, but oh well. It's going to do some type of half stitch here. Wow. Okay, and now I need to take and put the wrong side of lining. So right side down, right side down. This is for the other piece. You see how thick this is? I mean, this is like ridiculously thick. I don't, I don't have very good thoughts about this one. I really don't. All right, now it's gonna do one last tack down. So this project is this project's done. Not sure how it's gonna be. Yeah, not sure. Let me go in right away. Let me take this off, and then I'm going to put my foot back down to the settings. Let me get my pinking shears. I'm gonna go over to the table. All right. It's 10:30 right now. 10:30 at night. So you can see that's going to be very hard to cut. It says go around 1/4 of an inch, and then it says go back and reduce the bulk. So what a better way than with the pinking shears, but I mean, I don't, yeah, this is very bulky. Even without making mistakes, it's very bulky. And it's that batting, that extra, you know, special batting for the hot pad. I'm just gonna go straight here because I don't know how much I'm gonna. Pinking shears for this are so nice. They're so much better than cutting and then going back and doing all the clips here. But I will say it's very hard to do. I mean, it really puts, if you have any type of arthritis, the chances of being able to do this. I have arthritis. It's just not in my hands yet. Not in my hands yet. Oh, wow. That was a challenge. I'm not confident that this came out. I am not confident. So, okay, and then it says turn the project right side out. Right side out. And let's make sure that I can probably take away some more of this. That will definitely be too much if I leave all of that. If this is wrong after all of this, I'm going to be very mad. So, oh, Jesus, this is not easy. Let me turn this off while I continue to turn this. Okay. Okay, I really wish I would have done it with this as the outside fabric. Wouldn't that have been nice? I kind of like the way that looks, right? But this is the inside. So I'm going to take and press it really well. And then this has to be, I'm going to press it really well. This needs to be whip stitched as it shows right there. And then it will be turned inside from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press it really well. So this would have really been nice So this is what I would suggest is don't do this thing, right? I really like the way this looks. I would just do something like this, totally skip that part, but I'm going to get to that. I'm going to go and press it really well, and then I'm going to turn it out to the right side, and then we'll do a little discussion in a more cleaned up area about what the outcome of this is. Okay, how nice would this have been if these were the colors I would have chose? Now, I just pressed it really nice, and I have to stitch this. We got to remember this is the inside. But I like this so much more than what I'm going to show you. So this is the inside. So after whip stitching this, which I'm not going to do that right now, I would then be turning it inside out. Or, I'm sorry, right side out, right side out. And I don't have that done yet here. Let me press this. So this is the right side. This is the correct side. Now I look at it and I was like, not the best choice. Not the best choice for the inside. I don't know what I was thinking. I think this was a really nice choice because it showed off and showcased the quilting. I believe this part really would not recommend this. There was supposed to be more flowers and I just stopped stitching them. They are so thick and stitched on top of each other. To me, that embroidery stuff there makes absolutely no sense. It took a long time to do because it's all this stopping and starting, and then you got to change the colors. And I would have had to stitch a whole other double, four more flowers that I skipped. So I will say it's kind of small. It's kind of small. Your hands just barely fit in there, but I think it's all you need, and I do believe it will do the job. Now, I kind of feel like one side here came out a little wonky. This side came out better than this side. This side, I feel like you could see some of the stitches. You might want to take that into consideration. If you're using black fabric, maybe put a black bobbin in or something, because I have a lot of light colored threads there. But I like it. I like it a lot more. I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Beautiful quilting, right? But it really got thick on me. It really got thick. The tick marks in the end did not line up. They did not line up. And you can see that it didn't affect the the final outcome of the project. But again, if you're going to look at different colorways, I like this setup. Look at this. You could really turn these inside out, couldn't you? You could do that. But I like the inside better than I do the outside. I'm going to have to whip stitch this. I'll do that in the morning. But I really like this. This would have been a much better color combination. So the nicest part. Now, if I really, let's talk about this real fast. If I really whip stitch these, and I will show this again, I'm just not going to whip stitch this at 10:30. Well, now it's 10:45 at night. But these really could be reversible. These could be reversible. So if you do a really nice job whip stitching that close, I think that this could be very much a reversible little pot holder. Pot holder. Well, there you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't hold all the mistakes against me. I kept them in there because I wanted to show that, even if you make a mistake, most mistakes are savable. Most of them are savable. Way back when I would make a mistake, I would just take it out of the hoop, throw it in the garbage. if I would have done that, I would have, this is my outcome. I mean, in the end, it came out pretty nice. So I don't like what I did there. I don't like the color combination. I can say I like this color combination better than the colors that they provided. I would probably keep that more of a solid color, but I'm going to say that this is reversible. Just do a nice job on your whip stitching and it will definitely be reversible. My suggestion, eliminate this. Eliminate it. It doesn't add anything to the project except for more embroidery time and frustration because these are tiny. They go back and forth. It's constantly, couple stitches cutting off, couple stitches. I would recommend and it's not pleasant to the eye. Now, I know that I changed up my colors. I was trying to stay more, I didn't want to, I was trying to go for more fall colors. And I just don't think it adds anything to the project. What do you think? Do you agree, disagree? All right, well, I thank you for watching this. Tomorrow, I am going to stitch the hot pad, and I'm just going to take some pictures. It looks like, from what I could see, a basic stitch out, and then the biggest change is doing that binding. So I will show how I do the binding, and I'll show that last step of putting the binding on. And I think I'm just going to take some pictures, seeing that this took so long, just to show the progress as each part stitches, and I'll be able to get that done. There you go.